there, guys. How are you? My name's Tori Favreau, and this is the Amazing Brick Network. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment so as our creators know that you're actually paying attention. Today, I am super, super excited, and we've been waiting roughly a week to get the time differences and all that together. But I've got Evan Crouch with me right now via Skype. Evan, how are you?
Doing well.
I'm really glad, mate. Thank you so much for making yourself available. If you guys haven't heard the name before, Evan is one of the creators that I really, really enjoy on the Amazing Brick Network, on the Amazing Lego Pirates page. He does the most incredible dioramas that I've seen for some time. They're very unique. You tell a story, mate. They're just, like I said before, they bring me such joy when I do look at them. It's not just a photo, you get a story. Anyhow, I'm waffling. I'm a little bit like, oh, I am a fan of what you do. So for me, it's exciting too. But can you please tell our lovely viewers more about yourself, you know, where you're from, et cetera, et cetera?
I'm from Boulder, Colorado in the United States. I have recently got into Lego again. I'd say I'm all guns blazing, as Tori would say.
Yes.
On Lego right now because of COVID. It's turned around.
And sadly, it's affected your country too.
It has, especially in the last couple of months. But really, since lockdown began in March, I've really gotten into Lego. And I'm sure we'll talk more about that as we go. But I'd say what I love about Colorado is getting outside and hanging out with friends, and a lot of that just hasn't been happening.
No, that is quite sad. I do think a lot of people feel isolated because of that, and that's one of the beauties, I think, of Lego, and also, of course, that we've got the internet, that it can bring us together like that.
Totally.
So now I'm somewhat worried. You did say, though, you know, I've recently got back into Lego. Give us a bit of your Lego history then, please, sir.
Oh, you got it. I'm trying to figure out how old I am. I'm 35 now. So in the late 80s, early 90s, I was big into pirates and classic space. I liked the space Legos they were red. I think the antennas were like neon green on them. I don't know what series that is.
That is moving a little bit forward to almost the Blacktron period.
Oh yeah.
Classic space was my jam, big time. I've got a few years on you, sir. I'm 48, and when I was 6 or 7, I received like my first little Lego space set, and that's one of my tattoos that I had put on me.
Nice.
The red spaceman. So that was what you liked doing, the pirates, the classic pirates. Wasn't it called Lego System back then too, I believe?
That sounds right. And I have an older sister and a younger brother. My sister was big into the blue coats of the Imperials in the pirates, and I was 4 years younger than her and got the red coats when they came out in the mid 90s, early 90s. And then hit puberty and started playing music and other stuff and got out of Lego and until I had kids and when my oldest child, who is 6 now, turned 2, we got big into Duplos and we've got thousands and thousands of Duplos, and that was my way back in. And
I like it.
I tried as much as possible with the Duplos to tell stories, and we would try as much as possible with the limited colors that come in Duplos to make dirt and rivers and mountains.
What'd you do? Just throw blocks on the ground and go, yeah, that's dirt.
No, and that's been super fun. I love getting on the floor and playing with my 2 sons, who are now 4 and 6, and we have a 9-month-old who can only play with the Duplos, and we have to keep all the Legos away. But so we for a couple years, it was all about Duplos, and built up a huge collection of
Yes.
Duplos. And my boss at work dropped off a huge Tupperware of Lego system blocks, the small guys, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give these to my older son when he turns 6,
50.
which just happened, and I've slowly been giving them to him, but mostly I've been playing with them, and they're so fun, and
It's
so,
certainly a great stress relief.
yeah,
One thing I wondered then is, so you've pretty much only recently seriously got back into it, but
yeah.
where did that talent come from then? Because, bro, the stuff that you make now, I'm going to be showing photos of your builds throughout this video, but the stuff that you build, the small, even though they're small dioramas, there's an amazing amount of talent there. In all seriousness, my friend, like when you put stuff down, when you're clicking bricks, where did it come into your head to start doing these incredible dioramas?
Um, I Good question. I don't know. I
An
like
honest answer is a good answer.
yeah I'd say for starters, I'm inspired by all of the other builders that are on the internet. I especially love the Imperials that are part of the pirate genre
Yes.
um, within Lego, and I've often Googled like Lego pirate redcoats and see what images come up. And there are some specific builders like Air Lego on Eurobricks that does some phenomenal dioramas, and I would study them and try and zoom in as close as possible and see how the various bricks are interlocking, and the studs not on top
Yes.
techniques to turn the brick sideways and come up with cool ways to build things that are not Duplos.
I hear that.
They're not vertical. So I would go into that and then try and tell a story with it, and try and tell a story that is, when I was a kid, pirates was all about fighting. The pirates were fighting
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
redcoats, and I with these dioramas, I try and look at the other aspects of what might be happening in the 1700s, like who's the guy mucking the stalls in the stable, or stuff like that. There are a lot more aspects to life than the fighting.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I do adore. Folks, if you haven't seen Evan's builds, I really hope that you have, because I do feature them a lot. But one thing I do like is, especially if you go through the Amazing Lego Pirates page and you really scroll all the way down, you'll see your transition. Here's a custom, like, soldier. Here's someone with boots, and then it's like, here they are doing things. And then it goes from that to here they are doing really detailed things, through to they're not just toys anymore, they're telling a story. And thank you for that. One of the things I do love is that Evan does these really detailed posts before he puts his photo up. And there's history, there's backstory, they're little characters, they've got names. I adore that almost as much as the builds, because it's like you've made them into real little people. And what made you think to even start doing that? It's amazing.
It's fun. I'd be remiss to not mention Brethren of the Brick Seas, which is a Lego game that's ongoing on Eurobricks, and I'm participating in it for the last month. I'm just trying to get my feet wet in it, and
Yeah,
it's really inspiring me to come up with builds that fit into a larger world
of
that
course.
other people have come up with. And the little stories that I put before my images are that. I mean, the world, the island names and stuff like that all come from that world. And to get started with that, I come up with little names for the people and stories for what they're doing.
No, it's highly enjoyable. Now, your work, well, we say work, but I know it's pleasure. Your output is quite amazing. Like you seem to be coming up with new ideas all the time, which I love. But do you have some favorites that you might want to talk about?
Sure, sure. I'd say in the last week or two there was a beach scene that I thought was pretty fun, where there were theoretically was a shipwreck offshore somewhere, and some blue coats were swimming to shore, and it was a red coat island. And
Trouble ensues.
yeah, trouble ensues. I mean, the red coats rescue the blue coats, and but take them prisoner on the
Of
island,
course, you
and
can't just save them.
sure, sure, you got to be honorable there. But the idea for that build happened because I kept breaking reddish brown plates and tiles, and had all of these ones that were sharded on the end, and thought, how can I work this into a build? So I figured it could be a broken ship. So that was fun to do.
It did look beautiful, and I did love the way that you did the water and everything like that. Like it just, as opposed to these little, they almost look like 8 by 8 or 16 by 16 dioramas that you're doing. All of a sudden, we were confronted with this huge story, and it was amazing.
Cool.
So, and what else have you got that you may want us to focus on?
Great. Another recent one that I've done that was a lot of fun was a Semaphore Tower. I don't know if you know what a semaphore is, but it's a kind of like
I do.
visual
I'm actually
telegraph.
I'm ex-military. I was in the
Oh,
Navy for
cool,
8
cool,
years.
cool.
So yeah,
So
waving flags to communicate.
yeah, yeah. So and in the time of pirates and Imperials, it was a way to send messages via relay pretty quickly, from ships to or island to island. And I'd never seen one in Lego before that wasn't in trains. So I thought, well, this could be fun. To do a. My cat's coming over.
That's
To
okay. If your cat wants to visit, the cat can be on the show.
all right, all right. So I thought, oh, it'd be fun to do a period one. And there's some movies that I loved, and the books, Horatio Hornblower, that are
Yes.
based on the Napoleonic era, and there was a screenshot I was able to grab of a semaphore from one of those movies, and based a build off of it, which has lots of rocks underneath, so a rocky shore, and up on top is this Semaphore Tower that I built using a mast, from ships. So it was fun to see that
There
one
we
through.
go.
You got a shot. Let's see. Yeah. Um, so it was fun because I got to use Duplos too, because it's so massive. I think it's built on a 48 by 48 stud base plate. To get some height, I underlaid a whole bunch of Duplos, and then built a facade of system bricks on top of it. And it's I don't know. The Duplos have a special place in my heart because I play with my kids with them all the time. So it's fun
Yeah.
to mix the two.
Most definitely. And I mean, for people who may not be aware, the Duplo, the big bricks that we generally give to kids because they don't represent a choking hazard, they do work with Lego bricks, folks. So in one of the photos that Evan did share, like you showed the back and how it was all supplemented with Duplo, you can build on top of Duplo with your regular bricks. So if you are ever looking for larger bricks to fill a space or to make something more solid, Duplo is a great way to go for sure. But I do love the fact that you do have these. You're forging new memories with Lego with your children, but then that feeds back to you as being something special. Though I would say, with the amount of stuff that you're building at the moment, how often do this system bricks make their way back to the kids?
They've got their own little Tupperware bins under their bed, and
Nice.
every couple days I toss them a couple bricks to keep them interested and think that their collection's growing. But they're definitely very very separate at the moment. I've gotten my own portable storage over the last couple of months, where I
Yes,
can break out by color and piece.
it is
But
fun.
because
I love sorting.
yeah, it's very calming. Um,
Yeah, I think so too. Do you find that with the level of detail that you've got now, with your different builds that you sort of, are you keeping them or do you disassemble?
I'd say 90% disassemble. I don't have
Wow,
enough
you are
bricks to keep
stronger
them.
than me.
Yeah. Well, for a couple of reasons, I don't have enough bricks to keep building if I keep these things around. And I have a 9-month-old, and she will eat any Lego she finds.
Yes.
So I I only have so much cabinet space to set things on top of, to keep it out of reach. Uh,
It's so cool though. And look, I really do appreciate you freeing up your time to tell us more about what you do. I was just thinking before we do finish up, my friend, is there any other ways that you like, do you have any other social media that you'd like to share with the viewers?
not really. I post on Eurobricks as well as part of that Brethren of the
Of course.
Brixies
Yes.
game, but that's it.
Oh,
Just
brother, you've got
Facebook.
to start up an Instagram. People would go nuts for that.
I'll think about that. Thanks.
Wonderful. Evan, it's been such a privilege. Thank you so very much for sharing your passion for the brick and for the amazing stories that you tell. You're an integral part of the amazing Lego Pirates group, and I can't thank you enough for what you bring to the group and the joy that you do bring with your stories, both in prose and also with Lego. So thank you so very much for sharing with us today.
Oh, and thank you. Thanks for putting the whole group together. It's great to
So very welcome, my
get
friend.
together with people that way.
So, folks, this is the wonderful Evan Crouch. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, guys, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you do click that subscription button, click the link for notifications. And maybe if you've got some builds or something interesting that, is about this show's topic, leave a comment below. I'm sure that Evan will be checking them out. I most certainly do because I get notifications. But until next time, make sure that you're having lots of fun and most importantly, happy building. Goodbye.